As this chart indicates, for 13 out of 18 years, Swift Current residents saw a 0% tax increase. Then in 2010, a 4% increase was introduced, 5.95% last year, and now for 2012, residents are facing a 12.2% tax increase. The 2012 Swift Current City budget, presented in a high-quality manual and PowerPoint presentation, outlined the reasoning for the tax increase, and therefore seeing an average resident now paying an additional $8.54 a month. When broken down, 4.2% will provide residents with the same level of civic services, while increasing the level of service in the areas of development and planning and youth programming. Now the remaining 8% increase stems from the fact that Swift Current's population has grown to over 15,000, and the city must now pay 90% of RCMP services, while the federal government covers the remaining 10%. Mayor Jerrod Schafer indicates the increase in policing costs is a mere fact of a growing community and is a necessary fee to ensure 24-hour policing for local residents.
Well, certainly. I mean, one of the things that has become very apparent in our community, and one of the things that we're, working very hard to communicate is, affordability has always been the main driver and concern of council and where we're at, and we're starting to shift that towards service. And we've had a minimum manned RCMP station to focus on affordability, and, if we looked at cutting services in that regard, we just simply wouldn't have enough to offer 24-hour service to our residents, and I don't think there's anybody in Swift Current that would deem that acceptable.
He goes on to stress that when the overall numbers are compared to other similar-sized centers such as Yorkton or North Battleford, Swift Current remains an affordable location to reside and conduct business in. Schafer says as residents expect better snow removal, optimum water treatment, and other amenities, they must also appreciate the costs associated with a growing city and understand how the $7.9 million in tax revenue will now be used.
More so than just people conversing that we shouldn't have a tax increase or that they don't want their taxes to go up. I want people to start to really understand how their tax dollars are spent, and that's why we're trying so hard to communicate with individuals. We want them to know where we sit in relation to other communities, and as I said, we want this to create some good, open and honest dialogue instead of just, oh no, it's a tax increase, what does that mean? Actually delve into it and have a look at it.
Additional highlights of the 2012 Swift Current City budget include $325,000 for runway upgrades at the Swift Current Airport, $500,000 for the completion of the new West landfill, $2.6 million for the continued upgrades to the water treatment plant, and the Swift Current public transit system will also receive a much-awaited improvement with a $300,000 cash injection to purchase 2 used buses.
We're actually looking at a way to develop our transit system in more of a hybrid system. We recognize that the door-to-door service provided by our telebus is valuable to certain riders or users of our transit system. However, establishing a route within the city is also a priority. So we're working toward developing a hybrid of the 2 systems to come together. So the budget does include some monies toward the programming and improvements to small improvements to enhance it. Also to acquire a couple of additional buses so it happens later in the year.
And Memorial Drive will also receive a facelift to the tune of $2 million, a partnership between the city and the province. In the coming days, an overview of the 2012 city budget will be available online on the city's website, with copies available for viewing in person at City Hall.